Once again, another video, backing off of Elder Apostle Tahar's video, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakha Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh. The name of this one is The Judgment of the Great Whore. And once again, if you didn't hear me, once again, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. And once again, another video backing off of Elder Apostle Tahar's video. And she shall be utterly burnt with fire. Sometimes spirit will be on you to where you have all kind of ideas for videos, and other brothers land back off of you, and then other times spirit be on other apostles and brothers, and other brothers or apostles will land back off of them. So this is the second video backing off of our Elder Apostle Tahar's video, and the name of this one's going to be The Judgment of the Great Whore. Pretty much, when I watched Elder Apostle Tahar's video, it inspired me to put this one together. So I got a couple of precepts. Lord's will, we're going to get through it, see how far we can go. If I have to do it in two parts, then I will. It all depends on the spirit. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we're going to start off in Revelation 17. Because see, when you read the Bible is written in allegories. In some cases it's written in allegories. It's written in dark sayings. It's written in parabolic form sometimes. And sometimes it's just written straight up. And through the spirit we are able to discern when it's straightforward or when it's a parabolic. So this is the book of Psalms 49 and 3. My mouth shall speak of wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall be of understanding. I will incline mine ear to a parable. I will open my dark sayings upon the harp. So this is the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, opening up these mysteries through these scriptures by inspiring men to do so. Because the scriptures speak about, having a teacher to teach you, And let's go to Isaiah 46 and 8. Remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, ye transgressors. Why? Because these things are written aforetime. They were written for our learning, and they were also written to usher in the second coming of Yahweh Shai and the kingdom of Yahweh Shai, which is also the kingdom of Israel. It says, remember the former things of old, for I am the Most High. Because we knew this at one time, but we forgot it. Why? Because through the different reincarnations, we ended up forgetting. But the Lord brought it back to our remembrance in this time. And there is none else. I am the Most High, and there is none like me. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. So this is the Most High's counsel, and this is the Most High's pleasure that he's doing. And this is why these prophecies are coming to pass. Now let's go to Revelation 17 and 1. It says, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And this right here is parabolic, because what is a whore? A whore is a woman that you pay money for to lay down, for her services, whatever the case may be. And there's times when you could actually hire a woman for a certain period of time, such as the Heavenly Father himself told the prophet Hosea to do with the woman Gomer, And these guys talking about, you guys buy prostitutes or harlots or whatever the case is. Well, the Lord told Hosea to buy a prostitute, I mean, look, that's their profession, that's what they do. But this particular woman here, this is a great whore, because this is going into the same thing that we read all throughout Revelation, dealing with Babylon the Great. All right. So what we're going to deal with is this word whore first. The great whore. Let's go to the word whore. Porne, which is where you get the word porno from, pornography. Says a woman who sells her body for sexual uses. And pretty much America is compared to a harlot or a whore. Why? Because these nations are paying America for her services. How do you think these nations got rich? These nations got rich by what's the word I'm looking for? By having sex pretty much with America. By what? By these different trade agreements, these different import, export, / make pretty much making money off of America, but they have to pay a certain amount of money. So this is why we read a woman who sells her body for sexual uses, a prostitute, a harlot, one who yields herself to defilement for the sake of gain. Now you have some women out there that are harlots because they don't have another choice. Their body is the only way for them to make money. This is why Yahweh Shai said that the harlot shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, excuse me, before the Pharisees and Sadducees and them, the wicked ones. But you also have those women out there that sell their bodies, enjoy selling their bodies, enjoy having sex, enjoy, making money off of it. That's, pretty much, they're already defiled. But the women that do it, because they have no other recourse, excuse me. Salaki, I had something in my throat. It seems like every time you hit the record button to record, Satan always messing with your throat and shit. Alright, so those women, they're already defiled. It says, any woman indulging in unlawful sexual intercourse, whether for gain or for lust, metaphorically, idolatrous, of Babylon, an example, Rome, the chief seat of idolatry, which is not talking about ancient Rome, it's talking about modern day Rome, which is America. Because ancient Rome was not Babylon. And ancient Rome was not destroyed as Babylon the Great will be destroyed. And the Apostle John had these visions right before the translation of power was given from the pagan Roman Empire to the Holy Roman Empire. So that's nonsense. But they always try to inject a little bullshit in there. So now we're dealing with this harlot, right? Now another term for harlot or whore is what? Is queen, prostitute. When we look up the word queen, let's see if we can find the word queen to see what comes up. Let's see what we can get from it. Just bear with me 1 second because I have to find the actual etymology of it. Give me a second here. It should come up here. Oh boy. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm just trying to see if they're gonna come through with it or did they take it out. All right, here we go. All right, because the word queen comes from Queen, comes from Quean. It says young, robust woman, Old English queen, woman. Also female serf, hussy, prostitute. So a queen is a prostitute. So a harlot or prostitute, queen, it all synonymous one with another. And this is why we read, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials that talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And the reason why we went to the word queen is because when we read in Isaiah 47:5, it says, Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. Now this is another scripture dealing with the virgin daughter of Babylon, or that great city, and it'll all tie in together. This is Lord's will, Isaiah 47:5. Let's look up the word lady. And the word lady comes from the Hebrew word gabarath. Gabarath is just where you get the word gabar. It's almost like a feminine way of saying gabar. You can say gabarah with a ha at the end, and this one is gabarath, because gabarath is almost like in a plural sense, because the lady of kingdoms, So when we look down here, it says what? Lady, queen, mistress of servants. So this is a queen. So America is that harlot, that queen, that lady, that mistress, which has control over the whole entire earth, and people that say no, you're a goddamn lie, because all nations get their goods from America, in most cases. And all nations that they really want to become rich, what do? They have to sell their wares here in America. They make it in their country, which is cheaper, and they bring it here and sell it and make more money, All right, so let's go back. Now let's go to now we're dealing with the word that, what is it? I'm sorry. Let's go back. We're dealing with the word great whore. All right, keep in mind great, and the word for great should be megas. Should be megas. Megas, megalas, megas or megalas or megas. Yep. All right, so now let's jump down to the 5th verse. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. So we know that this is not dealing, Revelation 17 is not dealing with a different woman. This harlot is not talking about somebody totally different than what we read in Revelation the 18th chapter or any other place where it mentions Babylon the Great. We know that it's dealing with actually Babylon the Great, but this is just another name that Babylon the Great is called, the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Now let's go from there to the book of Jeremiah 51:13. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, that thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. And this many waters in Jeremiah 51 is talking about who? It's talking about Babylon. See? And will send unto Babylon Fanner. So this is talking about Babylon, or Babylon the Great, which is this mother of harlot, which is this queen, which is this mistress, which is the harlot, that great city that we read about in the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter. All right. Now, what do these waters represent? Well, within the same chapter of Revelation 17, it tells you, Revelation 17:15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. So all of these people that you see here, this so-called melting pot, pretty much is those waters that we read about in the book of Revelation 17. But see, sometimes it breaks it down and sometimes it doesn't. Like in this case, it breaks down what the waters represent. And America is sitting upon all nations. And America is controlling, for the most part, the majority of the whole earth and their rulers. And if you control their rulers, that means you're controlling the money. That means you're controlling the legislation. That means you're controlling the people. So they have control over everybody. And it's not a coincidence that America is known as this great melting pot. You know, there were cartoons and different things in the past that show you that. They show you like a woman dressed in the red, white, and blue with a big spoon, and you have a big pot of citizenship, and she's stirring it up, and there's all different types of people mixed in there. And there's a reason for that, because America is Babylon the Great. America is this great whore. All right. So now let's go back up and to go to verse 2. So this whore that sits upon many waters, all these people, the Lord was going to show the Apostle John the judgment that was about to come upon her. Hence the name of the lesson, the judgment of the great whore, which goes hand in hand with what this verse, the first verse says. Right here it says, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. Now these kings of the earth represent what? They're rulers. The rulers of these different nations that are in bed with America, so to speak, through different policies, and whether it be economic or legislative or whatever the case is, following the same customs, following the same steps in which America's following. And you notice that as each year goes by, this place becomes more and more degenerate. It's already degenerate. It was degenerate from the beginning, from its inception, from the start. But it's becoming more and more degenerate as each day goes by, and it's becoming more and more blatant on the things that it does. And that's why here also we read for Queen, right? We read for Queen. It says, hussy, sense of effeminate homosexual. See? And then when you read back here, they have the term, let me see if I can find it. Queen bee is a figurative sense, is from 1807, meaning male homosexual, especially a feminine and ostentatious one. You know them extra ones, them out of the closet, super flamboyant, 3 snaps and 2 twists, type motherfuckers like that. That's what this is. That's another thing that it's talking about. And this is why we read in Revelation 17:5 again, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, because this is Babylon the Great. It's a mystery, but the mystery has been uncovered by the prophets through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai, because this is the biggest conglomeration of confusion that has ever walked the face of the earth, that has ever ruled the face of the earth. Other nations that were in rulership, they had homosexuals among them and all that. They had lesbians and different things of that nature, but not on the level of what's going on today, the degeneracy of what's going on today. Then it says the mother of harlots, because all of these different philosophies that they have in America, they lead to what? To harlotry, which is what? Which is adultery, which is spiritual adultery. And we know that in Wisdom of Solomon 14, it says that let me get it. Idolatry. Let me see. I can't actually quote it it's been a while since I read this precept, so it just came into my mind. I believe it's 14 and 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication and the invention of the corruption of life. And this is why the Israelites in Corinth, in Ephesus, in Galatia, in Thessalonica, in all those different places where the Apostle Paul went, Rome, Athens and all that, they were all corrupted by what? By these idols. And this is why they had to be brought back from that. And that's why in 1 Corinthians 12, it's the Lord speaks about how, or the Apostle Paul speaks about how you were, remember how you were Gentiles led away unto these dumb idols. Because those dumb idols is what caused you to lose focus, will cause you to lose your identity, will cause you to lose your religion, so to speak, will cause you to lose your favor in the sight of the Most High, and cause the Most High to turn his back on us because we turn our back on him. You see? So it all ties together, and all of these nations are doing the same exact thing, and it's pretty much Esau that does that. When Alexander Antiochus Epiphanes, when he set up his kingdom, he set it up under what? Under a one world order. And they said that all nations should leave the laws of their land and the religions of their fathers. And this is the same exact thing that America is doing, because America is nothing more than that great whore, that harlot. that ruleth among all these different nations. All right, so going back to Revelation 17 and 5, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, because they are the abominations of the earth. An abomination is what? Homosexuality, lesbianism, adultery. All of that is anything that goes against the scriptures is an abomination, but especially homosexuality, whether it be male on male or female on female. That is the greatest abomination. And this place is pushing that heavy all over the world, even in the land of Israel. You know, you have the gay pride parade down there. What is that? Tel Aviv, Pink City. So pretty much this place encapsulates and all the characteristics that we read in the book of Revelation and other scriptures about Babylon the Great, about this harlot, you know, it all about the mistress of witchcraft. It all points directly to America, which is Babylon the Great. All right, so jumping back up to verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have what? Been made drunk with the wine of a fornication, because they all drank of this wine. And that's why the majority of people on the earth are going to not have a problem with taking the mark of the beast. Why? Because they are in bed with America. They are in bed with Babylon the Great. And they're pushing it through their technology. And everybody is up on technology. It's like when the new iPhone comes out, it usually comes out what, every year. But let's say they started coming out every 6 months. You know, people would drop that phone, the old phone, that's nothing wrong with it, and get the new phone just to stay up with the times or with the technology. So what do you think is going to happen when they start telling people that to get chipped? You know, this is the new, your phone can be on there. You know, all you got to do is turn your hand over and dial, like that chick that had the phone implanted into her hand. She was talking to her mother. You know, so it's all about technology, and this is why the scriptures say that they're going to do it with all deceivableness, because they have the power to do that. It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness. I'm sorry, we read, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and inhabitants of the earth have been drunk with the wine of a fornication, which is what? With that cup. With that golden cup. Which, let's go to Jeremiah 51 and 7. We're going to be jumping between these two chapters mostly. Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of a wine, therefore the nations are mad. And that's why these nations are bugged out like they are. You know, they don't forgot about their old ways and are cleaving to the new ways of America, which is heading America to destruction. You know? Now let's go from there back to Revelation 17. Now let's jump to the fourth. Matter of fact, let's read on. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast. This woman, once again, which is the whore, is America. And this scarlet-colored beast is the same beast that we read about with 7 heads and 10 horns, which is the empires, the 7 major empires of Esau that are carrying America on her back. And America came out of those 7. So America is the 8th one of the 7. It says, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And it's letting you know that it's talking about the same beast we read in Revelation 12, Revelation 13, so on and so forth. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color. Why? Because she was set in a prestigious place. She was set as a queen, as a lady of what? Kingdoms. This harlot of kingdom that's ruling over all these different kingdoms. This city. Matter of fact, let's jump down to the 18th verse. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, Babylon the Great, which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And you can't tell me that America is not reigning over the kings of the earth. So America is this whore, this harlot, this great whore. America is Babylon the Great, because we read that this woman, this harlot that the Apostle John saw, is Babylon the Great. It's that great city that rules over all these different nations on the planet. And all you have to do is look at their customs and things that they're doing. For the most part, all these nations are doing the same exact thing, especially those places that have them big cities. You know, it says, and I saw, I'm sorry, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Why? Because she was sitting as a queen, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and the filthiness of her fornication. Right? Because this cup that she had was full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication, because these are the same ideologies and the same ideologies and so-called wisdom of this whore that she's pushing upon all these nations, and she's making them drink. And what happens is, in most cases, if these nations don't adhere to America, what happens? She causes pretty much a war to come against them. You know, she'll send in what they call the economic hitmen, and then when the economic hitmen are not successful, they send in the real hitmen, which is what? The military. They might send in snipers to take out the particular leader and install a puppet leader, or however they do it, or just blatantly go to war and just take their resources. You know. So it says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Now we're going to jump. Oh, Salaki, I skipped something. Let's go to Revelation 13. That's what I missed. Revelation 13 and 3. It says, and I saw one of his heads as they were wounded to death. And you brothers that have been paying attention, taking notes, listening, studying, you know that this head is talking about what? The Roman Empire, which was ruling during the time when the Apostle John wrote this vision. And his deadly wound was healed. So he was wounded how? When during the Flavian dynasty, which was the last Flavian ruler that ruled was Domitian. When they were taken over by Jake, they were wounded because they no longer had a ability to rule. It says, and his deadly wound was healed when? A period of 1,000 years into the future. That's when that deadly wound was healed, during what was called the Renaissance, or the rebirth. Rebirth of what? Rebirth of Esau, pretty much coming back into power. Because the Lord halted or postponed their rulership for 1,000 years. It says, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And this is what they did. Why? Because the beast was able to deceive and manipulate. Because that was one of the greatest blessings that they were given, besides the sword, was the ability to deceive. Because that was what was going to fulfill the laws or the prophecies of Yahweh Bashim Shai, Salakia. It says, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they're worshiping the dragon today. Because everything you see goes back to the ancient Roman Empire. You know? All these laws that you see, the Latin incantations, the buildings, the way that they're built, all goes back to ancient Rome. And these nations are pretty much following in the same footsteps as the ancient Romans. Because they're following it through America, through modern times. It says, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him. So nobody's able to make war with this beast, because they have powerful weapons throughout all the earth. Because they have their military bases throughout all the earth. And they have allies throughout all the earth. But these European allies are going to turn against this whole. It says, and worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him. So going back to Revelation 17 and 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, which is America, drunken with who? With the blood of the Israelites. Through slavery, through the killing of Gad, Reuben, Issachar, you know, mainly those three. And then even in the future, when all the tribes started coming here, you know, these killings that they're doing. And with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua, which, you know, there will be certain brothers that will be put to death for this word. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Why? Because the scriptures say that if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect, because they have been given that power of deception. So their power of deception is so great that if the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai didn't open up the eyes of the elect, they would even be deceived by this hope. That's how heavy, that's how heavy it is. It says, and when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Okay? Verse 7. It says, and the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath 7 heads and 10 horns. And we've gone over this, so you brothers can read the rest of that. But what we're going to do is we're going to jump down to the 12th verse. Verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power with as kings 1 hour with the beast. And these 10 kings represent what? The European Union. Used to be known as the EEC, or the European Economic Community. And when they were first established, they were established as 6 nations. And eventually, over the years, more nations were added to them. And when the very next year after they established the EEC back then, today European Union, they had a building in their capital of Brussels, Belgium, set up, which is still there to this day. And when they first set it up, they had put up 10 flagpoles, because that represented the 10 these 10 horns that came out of this beast. But over the years they changed it. They put up more flagpoles, and they've added more people, whether they did it because they found out through prophecy, that they were fulfilling prophecy, or whether they just did it just to add more people, which, knowing how Esau works, we believe he actually added it to what I'm looking for, to deceive the people. Yeah, and that scripture in 2nd Ezra 11, that's really dealing with the Roman Empire. I don't know if that's why you put it up there, Elder Manataz Akbar, but that's really dealing with the ancient Roman Empire, 2nd Ezra 11 and 12. All right, so now let's read on. It says, these have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. Yeah, because everything that these nations are doing is geared up to what? For one world government. How do we know that? Let's go to the book of Revelation 16. And well, this is good too. But pretty much, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring this one world government, which is not going to work. It's the same thing that's been. See, all you got to do is go back to the beginning. They did that back during the Tower of Babel. They tried to bring the scriptures into into a one world establishment or agenda. To build that tower, everybody had one language, one speech. Everybody was of one mind. And what did the Lord do? The Lord, he confounded the languages, and therefore confounding the enterprise or the agenda, or what they were trying to accomplish. So it didn't work. So it's not going to work this time. These shall make war with the Lamb, and this is why they're gathering together over there, which we read in Revelation 16, that's what they're trying to do. Revelation 16:13, I saw 3 unclean spirits come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth into the kings of the earth, and to the whole and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of the power Almighty. And that's what they're doing. So they're using these entities like the military, America, the Roman Catholic Church, and different situations to gather all these nations over there to bring in what the scriptures call Armageddon or World War III, for the purpose of having people so angry and so desperate for peace that they would agree to this one world order. And this is their plans. But it's not going to work, because the Lord is going to put a monkey wrench in there. You see? So going back to Revelation 17. And 14, these shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful, which are the angels. It says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. See, so those same 10 nations among these Europeans, the European Union, these European Edomites, they're going to hate this whore, because pretty much America is running everything, you know, and it doesn't matter what the feelings of any of those other European nations are. Whatever America says is going to go. You know, whenever there's decision making, whatever America say, they have the last say so. So these nations, something's gonna happen to where the Lord is gonna cause them to get upset and tired of that shit, and then they're gonna actually turn against America, and they're gonna actually shoot the missiles that they have against this place. It says, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And this is why the angel told the Apostle John that he was going to show unto the Apostle John the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And that's what's happening right now. Right now, everything is, the stage is set. The actors are all in place, and the final scene is about to play out. It says, for the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. See, because at the end of the day, the Most High's words will be fulfilled. So they're going to give their heart and their mind unto the beast, you know, their kingdom unto the beast. They're going to do this because the Most High is going to cause these same allies that America's allied with to destroy America by the missiles. And it's not just Russia that's going to destroy them. You know, and China has missiles, so that means China's going to shoot missiles also. But it's also those European Union nations that have the missiles that are in cahoots with America that's going to destroy this place also. It says, and the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And that is America, Babylon the Great. Now I have more precepts here. Matter of fact, you know what? I'll read this last one and just close it out. This is the book of Revelation 18, which Elder Apostle Tar read, 18 and 8. Therefore shall her place come in one day, meaning who? America, Babylon the Great, death and mourning. And as Elder Apostle Tar said before, which I believe he said that High Priest Ariah said, when you read the book of Revelation, it's the same story, just told in different ways, different allegories, different symbology. But it's the same exact story told over and over again. Okay, bro. Okay, cool, brother. Cool. You know, just want to make sure, because brothers might read that scripture and get confused. And Salak, what it is, this, everything is on delay. So by the time you hear this, and you make a response, it'll be later on in the lesson. So yeah, Khan, I hear you, brother. I hear you. All right, the water. Revelation 18:8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord who judgeth her. And that's what's going to destroy this place. Because the scriptures speak about a lake of fire. And what's going to cause that lake of fire? The nuclear missiles plus the fire from the chariots. The concentrated lasers from the chariots. And then there's plenty of fossil fuels and different elements here, and wood and trees and flowers and, coal and all kind of stuff that's going to be used to flame that fire. That's why the scripture says it's going to burn forever, meaning it's going to burn for a long period of time, before it actually turns out. Because remember, they're not going to have a giant fire truck to be able to put out this fire, because this place, like when the World Trade Center went down or other places get burnt up, they have fire trucks to put the fire out. It takes a while, but eventually they put it out. But this place is going to go out on its own. So it's going to burn for a long period of time. It says, for strong is the Lord who judgeth her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And that's all it's going to take, is 1 hour to destroy this place, from beginning to end. And that's the great judgment of the great whore, that the Lord spoke about. So pretty much this has been a land back off of Elder Apostle Tar's video, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. I believe I put that in the description box so you brothers could watch it if you didn't get a chance to watch it yet. So with that, I pray that you brothers have been edified, and to the next time I say shalom. Now I have more precepts here. Matter of fact, you know what? I'll read this last one and just close it out. This is the book of Revelation 18, which Elder Apostle Tar read, 18:8. Therefore shall her place come in one day, meaning who? America, Babylon the